What's up guys, it's Shirley, and in this video I'm creating a design of Twilight Sparkle from My Little Pony using Sketchbook Pro and Illustrator. Let's get into it. Before we get into the drawing, I want to talk a little bit about the two programs that I'll be using, their similarities and differences, and where you can find them. So first off, we have Adobe Illustrator, which is part of the Adobe Creative Suite. And unlike Sketchbook Pro, it is not a free program. However, I will say that before you would have to pay over like $1,000 for this program. But now Adobe has the Creative Cloud, where you can pay a monthly membership depending on your plan, and prices start at $21 a month. So I wouldn't suggest using a program like this unless you know you will be using it professionally. Instead, you can use something like GIMP, which is a free program and has some pretty nice features, and I'll leave a link for that below. Now, Illustrator is similar to Photoshop, but it is a vector-based program, which that basically means that it works in shapes instead of pixels. I'll actually be creating a separate video that goes in more depth about Illustrator, so make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss that. Now, Illustrator is robust and pretty technical. I've mainly used it for logos, t-shirt designs, banners, and many other marketing materials that are more shape and text-based. However, I would never want to use Illustrator for drawing, sketching, painting, or anything that I would consider as traditional art, because it's just not really meant for that type of work. Instead, I would use a program like Sketchbook Pro. So Sketchbook Pro is it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's a software that's meant for artists that want to use touch and stylus capabilities and draw their artwork directly in the program. Sketchbook Pro has a super easy interface, and it actually feels like you're drawing and painting. It is also free, so I'll leave a link for that too below. And for me personally, the time I've spent using it, I really love it, and I'm still learning how to use all of the features and functionality so that I can speed up my my workflow. So if you are interested in any of these programs, like I said, I'll have the links down below where you can find out more information about them and start using them for your next projects. Now on to the actual design of Twilight. I decided to start with Illustrator because I wanted to speed up my workflow. The last few drawings I've done of Celestia and Luna, which are also from My Little Pony, took over 13 hours. And personally, it is too much time to spend on fairly simple character designs. These characters mainly consist of simple shapes, and I noticed in Sketchbook Pro that it was taking me a few hours to create the body outline and filling them in with their respective colors. Now, this could definitely be because I'm still learning the program, but I decided to use Illustrator because it's something that I'm more familiar with. And mainly because it's just a matter of laying down the sketch, creating the shapes that would make up the body, and then filling each shape in. So here I'm using Illustrator, and again, I'm creating Twilight's body and including as many shapes as I can first in Illustrator before finishing the rest in Sketchbook Pro. I would have liked to use Photoshop to draw the entire design, but unfortunately, unless you have like a Wacom Cintiq or Windows Surface, the touchscreen capabilities in Photoshop don't work, which sucks for me because I do have a touchscreen computer, but it's an Asus and Photoshop doesn't really like it. I've actually contacted their support, and they've told me the same thing. So unfortunately, if anyone does know a workaround, please let me know. But for now, I kind of just have to switch in between programs. Anyway, here in Sketchbook Pro, I'm finishing off all the smaller details that I wasn't able to do in Illustrator. I wanted to be able to paint the rest of the details, so Illustrator was becoming too technical for me. There were still many things that weren't proportional, and although I could have played around with the shapes in Illustrator, it was way easier for me to actually draw in Sketchbook Pro. And thankfully, it's super easy to work in between programs, so that wasn't much of an issue. Creating the rest of the details in Sketchbook Pro took me a few hours. And all in all, this entire design took me about 7 or 8 hours, which isn't as long as 13 plus hours. But I would still like to get it down to maybe 3 or 4. And again, this may just be because I'm still learning how to use Sketchbook Pro, and I'm not really familiar with all of the tools. Maybe there is an easier way to do the outline and then fill it in with. I know there's a paint bucket tool, but just for some reason I'm just not. I don't know. It's not working for me. So I really want to use something like Manga Studio, which I was just introduced to recently by another artist within the MLP community. His name is Harwick, and his artwork is amazing. So make sure to check him out on DeviantArt. I'm going to leave a link down below too for his art, just because it's super inspiring for me. But yeah, Manga Studio, which is now Clip Studio, is what I'm going to be looking into next. And hopefully I'm able to use my stylus in that program. So the next design I will create will be completely done in just one program, because that was the reason why I had to do it first in Illustrator and then move it to Sketchbook Pro, because I would have been able to do it all in Photoshop, but I don't have the touch capabilities there. So hopefully Manga Studio allows me to do that. So anyway, guys, here is the finished Twilight, and also here are Luna and Celestia. So just by looking at these side by side, you don't notice much of a difference in the actual design. But while Luna and Celestia took over 13 hours, Twilight took about 8. So I'm getting the same result, but my goal is to make my process more simple. By the way, if you would like to see my previous drawings of Celestia and Luna from My Little Pony, check out the links below. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this information, this time lapse. I'm going to be creating more videos like this. I'm really just trying to figure out which program is best for me and my workflow. But I also want to share my feedback and experience with you guys, because I know that I want videos like these, and I've been looking for videos like these where artists kind of give their feedback about the programs that they use, but I haven't really found many like that. So that's why I'm creating my own. So if it is something that you're interested in, then consider subscribing. I'm going to be creating more videos like this. I'm getting into animation as well. So everything that I'm going to be learning, as far as writing a script, learning how to storyboard, and then actually getting into the different animation programs like Animate CC. I'm looking into Toon Boom Harmony, I believe it is, which is the actual software that they used for the new My Little Pony movie. So they create the animated series, the cartoon, with Flash, which is now Animate CC, but then they use Toon Boom Harmony to create the movie. So that's going to be really interesting to see and to play with. But anyway, guys, I will see you on the next one. Be bold, be passionate, be you. Take care.